If you have a defined benefit pension, you might think you've won the retirement lottery. But here's what no one tells you. That guaranteed income creates a tax floor. It means you'll never pay low taxes again unless you plan carefully. And if you don't act between ages 60 and 70, you could lose 50% of your RRSP to taxes and clawbacks. I'm Tony, a CPA and financial planner here in Canada. I'm glad you're here. You've probably heard this advice before. Your pension might not match your spending curve. Early in retirement, you want to travel, renovate, enjoy life. So you're spending more. Later, you slow down. The conventional wisdom says you need to bridge that gap in the early years, maybe by drawing from your RRSP. And that's not wrong, but it completely misses the real problem. The real problem isn't just about cash flow, it's about taxes. Here's what I mean by a tax flow. Let's say you retire with a pension of $60,000 a year. That's excellent income. But look at what it does to your tax situation. In Ontario, the first $15,000 or so of income is barely taxed. That's your personal exemption. The next chunk, up to about $53,000, is taxed at around 20%. Then from $53,000 to $106,000, you're at roughly 30%. Your $60,000 pension fills up those two first brackets completely. They're bricked up, permanently occupied. You will never get access to those low tax brackets again unless your pension stops. Now let's add CPP to the picture. If you take CPP at 65, you might get another $15,000 to $16,000 per year. So you're at $75,000 to $76,000 in guaranteed income before you touch a single dollar of your RRSP. When you turn 72 and the government forces you to start withdrawing from your RRSP through RRIF minimum withdrawals, where does that money land? Every dollar you take out lands on top of your $75,000. So you're immediately paying at least 30% tax on every withdrawal. And it gets worse. If those RRF withdrawals push you over $93,454, you start losing OAS through the clawback. That clawback takes back 15 cents for every dollar over that threshold. So now you're paying 30% income tax plus a 15% OAS clawback. That's a 45% effective tax rate on every RRIF dollar. And if you're in a slightly higher tax bracket, you could be losing 50% or more. That's the pension trap. But here's the good news. You have a window of opportunity. I call it the meltdown window. That is the period between when you stop working and when RF minimums kick in at age 72. For most people with a defined benefit pension, that's roughly ages 60 to 71. During this window, you can strategically withdraw from your RRSP on your terms at your pace in amounts that make sense for your tax situation. Let me show you what this looks like with real numbers. Scenario 1, no planning. Susan retires at 60 with a $60,000 pension and $400,000 in her RRSP. She doesn't touch the RRSP, she just lets it grow. At 72, she's first to start RRF withdrawals. In that first year, she has to take out about $21,000. Combined with a pension and CPP of $75,000, she's now at $96,000 in income. She's in the 30% tax bracket and she's $5,000 over the OAS clawback threshold. That clawback takes 15% of the $5,000 average. About $750 of our OAS is gone. But here's the real problem. Every year after this, the RIF minimum percentage goes up. At 75, she's withdrawing 5.82%. At 80, it's 6.82%. At 85, it's 8.51%. By age 85, the RRSP has grown to $450,000. She's forced out to take over $38,000. Now she's at $113 in income, losing over $3,000 in OAS clawback alone, plus paying 30 to 35% tax on that withdrawal. Over her retirement, she'll lose tens of thousands of dollars unnecessarily. Scenario 2, the meltdown strategy. Same Suzanne, same numbers, but this time, Between ages 60 and 71, she withdraws carefully from her RRSP. She calculates that with her $60,000 pension, she has about $30,000 of room before hitting the OAS clawback threshold at $93,454. So she takes out $30,000 per year. Yes, she's paying about 30% tax on those withdrawals, roughly $9,000 per year, but she's staying just below the clawback. Over 11 years, she pulls out $330,000 from her RRSP. She moves that money into a TFSA where it can continue to grow tax-free, or she spends it on those active early retirement years. By age 72, the RRSP balance is under $100,000. When IRF minimums kick in, her first withdrawal is only $5,400. Combined with her pension and CPP, she's at $80,400, well below the clawback zone. She keeps her full OAS. As the years go on, our RRF runs down naturally without ever triggering clawbacks. The difference? Over a 25-year retirement, Susan saves $60,000 to $80,000 in avoided taxes and clawbacks. Plus, the money she moved to her TFSA is now growing completely tax-free. Scenario 3, what if you have less room? Now I know, not everyone has $30,000 of room. Let's say Robert has a $75,000 pension. With CPP at 65, he'll be at $90,000. He has almost no room before the clawback kicks in. Does the meltdown strategy still work? Yes, but it requires smarter timing. Robert delays CPP until 70, which increases the CPP benefit by 42%. But more importantly, it gives him 5 extra years, ages 65 to 70, where his income is just his $75,000 pension. During those 5 years, he can withdraw $15,000 per year from the RRSP without hitting the clawback. That's $75,000 total. Not as much as Susan, but it's still meaningful. And when CPP starts at 70, it's 42% higher. So even though his RRSP is mostly gone, his guaranteed income is much stronger. The key point, even if you have a high pension, there's still a strategy. You just need to coordinate the timing. Now, this strategy isn't for everyone. If you don't have a defined benefit pension, you might actually need those low tax brackets in retirement. Or if you have a small RRSP relative to your pension, say under $200,000, the math might not work out the same way. But if you have a solid defined benefit pension and a significant RRSP, let's say $300,000 or more, you need to pay attention to this. Because without a plan, the tax floor your pension creates will cost you. Here's something else to consider. If you're married, this gets even more important. Let me walk you through why. Let's say you and your spouse both have pensions, maybe $50,000 each. While you're both alive, your household income is $100,000 from pensions, plus 2 CPPs, plus 2 OAS benefits. You're splitting income across 2 tax returns. That's manageable. But when one spouse passes away, everything changes. The surviving spouse inherits the full survival pension, usually 60% of the deceased spouse's pension. So if your spouse had a $50,000 pension, you now get $30,000 as a survival benefit. Combined with your own $50,000 pension, you're at $80,000. Add your CPP and your spouse's survival CPP, and you could be at $95,000 to $100,000. Now add RIF minimums on top of that. Suddenly, the surviving spouse is well into OAS clawback territory, losing thousands of dollars every year. Some surviving spouses lose 50% or more of their RIF withdrawals to combined taxes and clawbacks. That's devastating. And it's completely avoidable if you melt down RRSP strategically while you're both still alive and can still split the tax burden between 2 returns. That's why planning matters now, while you still have time and flexibility. So what should you do if you're in this situation? 4 things. First, map out your retirement income sources. Write them down, your pension amount, your CPP estimate. You can get this from My Service Canada account, your projected OAS, and your RRSP balance. If you're married, do this for both of you. You need to see the full picture. Second, calculate your tax floor. Add up your pension and CPP. That's your baseline guaranteed income. That tells you what tax bracket you'll be in for the rest of your life. For most people with a defined benefit pension, that floor is somewhere between 25% and 35%. Third, figure out your meltdown room. Take the OS callback threshold in 2026, that's $93,454, and subtract your pension and CPP. Whatever's left is your annual room. For example, if your pension is $60,000 and your CPP at 65 will be $15,000, your total is $75,000. Subtract that from $93,454 and you have roughly $18,000 of room. That's how much you can withdraw from your RRSP each year without triggering the clawback. Now, you might decide to take out a bit more than that if you're okay paying the clawback in exchange for melting down your RRSP faster. Or you might take out less if you want to stay well clear of the threshold. The math is flexible. The key is that you're making an intentional decision. 4, consider your CPP timing. If you have very little meltdown room because your pension is high, delaying CPP to 70 can give you 5 extra years, ages 65 to 70, where you have more room to work with. Yes, you're giving up CPP income during those years, but you're gaining flexibility to draw down your RRSP. And when CPP starts at 70, it's 42% higher for life. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't simple math you do on a kitchen napkin. Everyone's situation is different. Your pension amount, your RRSP size, when you plan to retire, whether you have a spouse, your province's tax rates, all of this changes the calculation. That's why I always recommend working with a fee-only financial planner or a CPA who specializes in retirement tax planning. They can model your specific numbers and show you exactly what your meltdown strategy should look like. But the core principle is simple. If you have a defined benefit pension, your RRSP is not a preserve it forever account. It's a spend it strategically account. And the meltdown window, those years between 60 and 71, is your one chance to do exactly that. If this video has helped you see your pension in a new light, give this video a like. It helps other Canadians find this information. And if you're in this situation and you're wondering, what do I do next? Drop a comment. I read every single one. I have more videos on CPP timing, OS strategies, and IRF planning that you might find helpful. I'll link a few of those in the description below. Remember, a defined benefit pension is a gift. It's stable, predictable income for life, but it also creates a tax structure you need to work with, not against. The tax floor is real, but the meltdown window is your opportunity to get ahead of it. Don't wait until you're 72 and your options are gone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.